Let's cut the fluff. You want a fun, fast, and affordable hatchback, but you're on a budget. Not brand new GR Corolla money, not import, a Skyline money, more like used car lot with some cash left for mods money. The good news is you can still get an absolute blast of a JDM hatch for under $6,000. These aren't boring economy cars. These are the kind of hatches that make you take the long way home hunt for twisty roads and suddenly volunteer to go to the store at midnight just for an excuse to drive. We're talking turbo torque monsters, lightweight rally legends, swap-friendly tuner classics, and high-revving screamers, all with that unmistakable JDM magic. Today, we're breaking down 5 of the best JDM hatchbacks under $6K, why they're awesome, what to look for when buying, how to keep them reliable, and how to make them even more fun without going broke. The first-gen Mazda Speed 3 is Mazda's idea of taking a sensible compact and giving it the attitude of a turbocharged street brawler. It's powered by a 2.3L turbocharged MZR engine, making 263 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 6-speed manual. Stock, it'll do 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds, and the turbo spool paired with the whoosh of the bypass valve will have you grinning every time you shift. When buying, watch for signs of abuse mods without proper tuning smoke from the exhaust or rough idling. These engines need regular oil changes and proper care. Keep it stock or mildly tuned, change the oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, and it will hold up well. With the right upgrades and tune, it can make over 300 horsepower, but be ready for serious torque steer. The first-gen Mazda Speed 3 is what happens when Mazda takes a sensible little hatchback and says, let's make this thing absolutely unhinged. On the outside, it looks like a regular Mazda 3 with a hood scoop and a slightly more aggressive stance. Now, because it's such a torque-heavy front-wheel drive car, torque steer is a thing. And I don't mean it pulls a little, I mean it'll yank the wheel like it's trying to escape your hands if you floor it in the wrong gear. Some people hate it, others think it's part of the charm. When buying a Speed 3, you've got to be careful. These cars attract enthusiasts, which means a lot of them have been tuned, raced, or lightly abused. Look for signs of sketchy mods, like a giant intake with no tune, and listen for smoking turbos, rough idling, or rattling under load. The MZR engine is solid if you take care of it, but it hates neglect. Oil changes every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, with good synthetic are a must, and so is keeping an eye on that high-pressure fuel pump. Keep one stock or with a mild tune, and it'll last. But if you've got the itch for more power, this platform can easily break the 300 horse mark with the right upgrades, bigger intercooler high-flow exhaust, and a good tune turning it into a serious street weapon. Just remember, more power means more torque steer, so hold on tight. The Toyota Starlet Glanza is living proof that you don't need a massive engine to have an absolute blast behind the wheel. It's the definition of a lightweight turbo hatch, and honestly, it's one of those cars that'll put a smile on your face at 30 miles per hour just as easily as it will at 100. Under the hood, you get a 1.3-liter turbocharged 4E FTE engine pushing around 133 horsepower. Sounds modest, right? But here's the thing. The whole car weighs just over 100 pounds. That's basically nothing. Combine that featherweight body with a little turbo punch, and you've got a car that feels quick, nimble, and eager to dart into every corner. The Glanza 5 is the hot version of the humble Toyota Starlet built for the Japanese domestic market, which means in the US, most of the ones you'll see are right-hand drive imports. That's part of the charm. You're getting something rare, quirky, and very JDM. But it also means you've got to be smart when shopping. Always check that the car has proper import paperwork, is legally registered, and passes your local emissions or inspection rules. When inspecting one, start with rust. These cars are now over 20 years old, and rust loves to hide around the wheel arches, under the doors, and underneath the chassis. Mechanically, they're Toyotas, which means the reliability is great, but remember, this is still a small displacement turbo engine. You'll want to check for healthy boost levels, minimal smoke from the exhaust, and a smooth idle with no misfires. And here's the fun part. The Glanza 5 responds really well to simple upgrades. Throw on a free-flowing exhaust, a bigger intercooler, and get a proper tune, and you're easily looking at 180 to 200 horsepower. In a car that light, that's enough to embarrass much bigger, newer cars while still keeping that playful go-kart feel. It's the kind of hatchback that's just as fun on a tight back road as it is pulling into a car meet, where you'll probably be the only one who brought one. Unique, tunable, reliable, the Glanza V is the ultimate proof that good things really do come in small packages. The Honda Civic EK hatch is hands down one of the most legendary platforms in the tuner world. It's not because it rolled off the factory line with crazy performance numbers. In fact, stock, it's pretty mild. Most USDM EK hatches came with small, reliable D-series engines that are great for daily driving but not exactly tire shredders. The magic of the EK isn't about what it is stock, it's about what it can become. This chassis is a blank canvas, and the aftermarket support is massive. You can go from a slow, dependable grocery getter to a full-blown track weapon with the right engine swap. Drop in a B16 or B18 from an Integra, and you instantly get VTEC power and a whole new personality. Go all in with a K20 swap, and you're looking at a lightweight hatch that can hang with modern performance cars, and sometimes beat them. When shopping for an EK hatch, the #1 priority isn't the engine, it's the shell. You want straight body panels, minimal rust, and no signs of major accidents. These cars are now more than 2 decades old, so check the rear quarter panels, door sills, and undercarriage for corrosion. A clean, rust-free body is worth far more than a tired B-series engine, especially if you're planning to swap anyway. Part of the EK's appeal is how simple and cheap it is to keep running. Oil changes, basic maintenance, and avoiding overheating will keep these cars alive for years. They're mechanically straightforward, so even a beginner can learn to work on one without feeling overwhelmed. Then comes the fun part, the mods. Whether you're into budget coilovers and sticky tires for spirited back-road drives, or you're building a fully caged time attack monster, the EK can handle it. You can go show car stance, build drag strip sleeper, or track-ready racer. It's the Lego set of the car world, and the only real limit is your imagination and maybe your wallet. The EK hatch might not turn heads stock, but in the right hands, it can be transformed into something truly special, a car that reflects your style, your driving, and your vision. That's why, decades later, it's still one of the most beloved tuner platforms ever. The Nissan Pulsar GTI-R is what happens when Nissan decides to build a rally car, and then just sells it to regular people. This little hatchback isn't just a quirky JDM import, it's a genuine Group A rally homologation special. That means it was built so Nissan could go racing in the World Rally Championship, and all that rally tech is baked right into the car you can buy. Pop the hood, and you'll find one of Nissan's most famous engines, the SR20 DET. It's a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, putting out 227 horsepower, and in the GTI-R, it's mated to a close ratio 5-speed and a proper all-wheel drive system. This thing was built to grip and rip on loose surfaces, tight corners, and nasty weather. Whether it's raining, snowing, or you're kicking up dust on a back road, the Pulsar just digs in and goes. On the outside, it's got the kind of boxy, purposeful styling that screams late 80s, early 90s motorsport, complete with a big rear wing and those functional hood vents feeding air to the intercooler. It looks mean because it is mean. But remember, most Pulsar GTI-Rs in the US are imported. So step one when buying is making sure it's legal and has all the paperwork sorted. After that check for rust, these cars are old and rally-bred. Or not, they're not immune to corrosion. Also, look for signs of hard use, because, let's face it, people don't buy an AWD Turbo Rally Special to drive it gently. Mechanically, the SR20 Det is a tough engine, but after decades of use, you should expect some wear. Worn turbos boost leaks, tired suspension bushings, all common on a car that's been driven the way this one was meant to be driven. Budget for a refresh, and you'll have a reliable grin-inducing machine for years to come. And here's where it gets fun with the right upgrades: bigger turbo front-mount intercooler, proper fuel, and tune the GTI-R can comfortably clear 300 horsepower. And unlike a lot of front-wheel drive turbo hatches, the AWD system means you can actually put that power down without lighting up the tires every time you mash the throttle. The Pulsar GTI-R isn't just a hatchback. It's a rally car in disguise, a car that's just as happy sliding through gravel as it is blasting down the highway. If you want something rare, fast, and dripping with motorsport heritage, this is the one. The Acura RSX Type S is one of those rare cars that nails the sweet spot between performance reliability and everyday usability. It's the kind of car you can daily drive to school or work during the week, then rip through back roads or hit a track day on the weekend, all without feeling like you're sacrificing comfort or dependability. Under the hood lives the legendary K20A2 engine, a 2.0-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder that pumps out 200 horsepower and loves to rev. And when I say loves to rev, I mean it screams all the way to an 8,000 RPM red line. Paired with a slick 6-speed manual transmission, it's an incredibly engaging package that rewards you every time you push it. The VTEC crossover is addictive. Once you hear it, you'll find yourself downshifting just to hit it again. When you're shopping for one, patience is key. These cars are now old enough that you'll see a mix of well-loved examples and tired, abused ones. Look for maintenance records. Make sure the clutch feels strong and pay special attention to second gear. Some RSX develop a notorious grind from aggressive shifting. If it feels smooth and shifts cleanly, you're in good shape. The K-Series engine has earned a reputation for reliability, but only if it's treated right. That means regular oil changes with quality oil, keeping an eye on fluid levels, and not bouncing it off the limiter all day without proper warm-up. Take care of it, and it'll take care of you for years. The real magic of the RSX Type S, though, is how easily it can be transformed. Simple mods like an intake exhaust and a good tune really wake it up, making the car feel sharper and more responsive. If you want to go further, forced induction, either a turbo or supercharger, can push it well beyond factory power, while still keeping drivability intact. For handling, the RSX already feels planted, but swapping in parts from the Japanese market, DC5, Integra, Type R, like stiffer suspension components, a quicker steering rack, and better brakes, takes it to the next level. With the right setup, the RSX Type S becomes a seriously capable canyon carver or track day toy, while still being something you can drive home in comfort afterward. It's stylish, quick, reliable, and endlessly moddable. The RSX Type S is a perfect choice for anyone who wants a car that can do it all without breaking the bank. There you have it, 5 of the best JDM hatchbacks under $6K. Whether you want the boosty madness of a Mazda Speed 3, the featherweight agility of a Glanza Phi, the tuner potential of an EK hatch, the rally grit of a Pulsar GTI-R, or the high-revving thrills of an RSX Type S. There's something here for every kind of enthusiast. None of these cars require a massive budget to own. Just be patient in your search and be ready to put in a little work to keep them running strong. Which one would you choose, Turbo Hatch NA Screamer or AWD Rally Monster? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more affordable enthusiast car content.